All right, you guys, so welcome back. We are just moving right along here with distance learning, online learning, whatever you want to call it. Um, so we're going to be looking at multi-step equations. So I'm going to do probably 3 or 4 examples in this video, and then we'll have one more additional video because if you look up here on Delta Math, it says level 1. There's also a level 2 as part of your assignment, so I'll make sure that I do some examples from level 2 as well. All right, so again, I'm operating under the assumption that you remember some skills from middle school. Okay, if you don't remember those skills or you find yourself that you're struggling with those skills, um, set up a time for tutoring to come in and we can look at those skills for remediation purposes. Okay, so I have 8 times parentheses y minus 9 equals negative 32. So I've got steps I need to complete before I can even start solving the equation. So if I have my wall, okay, I've got my left side, I've got my right side. So my left side, I've got 8 parentheses y minus 9. Well, if you don't remember that from last year, that is an indication of distributive property, which means I need to distribute this 8, okay, into the parentheses. So I need to multiply everything in the parentheses by 8. So 8 times y, 8y, 8 times negative 9, negative 72 equals negative 32. All right, now if you're looking at it, you should look at it and say, oh, well, that problem looks exactly like the last video. It does, okay? This is why math builds on itself, okay? Your last video got you ready to be able to solve this video or solve the problems in this video. Only thing new, distributive property right here, okay? All right, so now I need to isolate my y, which means I have to isolate 8y. So I need to do something with this minus 72. Well, the opposite of minus, okay, is plus. So I'm going to add 72, add 72. So I'm going to bring down the 8y. Negative 72 plus 72 equals 0, equals, and then negative 32 plus 72 is positive 40. All right, so now I have 8y equals 40, so 8 times y. So the opposite of times is division. So I'm going to divide by 8, divide by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is y equals, and then 40 divided by 8 is 5. So y equals 5. Okay. All right, now in the last 2 videos, I didn't really do much with checking our work, okay? But that is something that is going to become extremely important. You may not see it now so much in Math 1 because of the topics we cover, but in Math 2 and Math 3, it becomes important to check your work. So, how do I know I've done this right? So, we've done one-step equations, we've done two-step equations. Some of those problems you probably could have solved in your head without showing any work. But some of these problems now, you might be looking at it and you're like, I really can't do this in my head and figure out the answer. So once I've done all this, how do I know? Okay. All right. So if I wanted to check my work, I would take y equals 5 and I would replace it here. So let me just recopy the equation. So y minus 9 equals negative 32. What I'm going to do is right here where there's a y, I'm going to replace that with a 5. Okay, now I'm just going to recopy everything else. So 8 parentheses, bring down that minus 9 equals, negative 32. There's a negative sign there. Okay, all right, now it's just a matter of doing order of operations if I do it by hand. So I start inside this parentheses. So 5 minus 9, well, that's negative 4. Bring down my 8. Bring down my negative 32. Well, that's a really good sign because 8 times negative 4 is negative 32 equals negative 32. Okay, so that works because that equals here, that is a true statement. Okay, if you've gotten a false statement, that would have indicated something went wrong. Okay, so if you got and say you got negative 30 on this side equals negative 32, that means your y equals 5 wasn't correct. Okay, now honestly, you could have made a mistake here. So you may need to check your work here, okay? And if you're absolutely positive, you're like, I did not mess this up, you might need to go back and look at your answer that you got here, okay? All right, so if I go up here to Delta Math, I type in 5, because remember, I have to type in y equals. There you go. New problem. Let's do this again. So we've got 7, example, parentheses, x minus 6 equals 28. Okay, so just like we did the last problem, I need to distribute. I can't do anything else, okay? I need to distribute. So 7 times everything in the parentheses. So 7 times x is 7x. 7 times negative 6 is negative 42 equals 28. Okay, now for some of you, your first mistake may happen here when you multiply 7 times 6 because maybe you're a little rusty on your multiplication skills. Okay, that might be a good time to use your calculator and double check that you did multiply correctly and you didn't make a mistake. Okay, all right, I need to get x by itself. So that means I need to get 7x by itself. So that means this 42 is my problem, okay, in terms of it needs to be eliminated from the left side. So minus 42, the opposite of that is plus 42. So I bring down the 7x. Negative 42 plus 42 eliminates. And 28 plus 42, 0, carry my 1. So I get 70. Okay, so 7x equals 70. So 7 times x, okay, so the opposite of times is division. Divide by 7, so I get x equals, because the 7's eliminate, 70 divided by 7, 10. Okay, so x equals 10. Submit my answer. Yes. New problem. Okay. All right. I'm going to do, there we go. So 5 times 2x plus 2 equals 20. All right. And this will be my last problem, and we'll move on to level 2. All right. So I'm going to make my wall. And then I'm going to distribute so I can eliminate those parentheses. Let me do that in a different color. Distribute. Okay. All right, so 5 times 2x. Now, the previous two problems, there wasn't a number in front of the variable. So 5 times 2x, you got to multiply 5 times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10x. 5 times 2 is plus 10 equals 20. All right, I need to get 10x by itself. So I need to eliminate the plus 10. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So that eliminates, and I'm left with 10x equals 20 minus 10 is 10. Okay. And now I'm going to divide, because 10 times x, the opposite of division, or the opposite of multiplication is division. The 10's eliminate. So x equals 1. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Okay. All right. And if I go here and plug that in, we're good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come back in a second video with some level 2 examples, but this is your assignment is going to have 2-step equations in it, and good luck.